A major relief today for tens of thousands of customers of Air Transat, the country's fourth largest airline. A pilot strike was avoided basically at the last minute in 11th hour negotiations going on in Montreal, where the airline is headquartered. The deal was reached just hours before the strike deadline. It comes after a year of talks, the union pushing for similar gains made recently by pilots at both Air Canada and WestJet in recent years. Terms of the deal still not released. It does need to be officially ratified. Air Transat had said that its offer was about a 59% wage increase over 5 years. The pilots' union rejected that. We'll have to see what the ultimate deal may be. The company says its priority now is to fully restore operations after more than a dozen flights were canceled. The holiday airline flies primarily to Mexico, the Caribbean, as well as many spots in Europe. CTV's Scott Hurst is standing by with more. You can imagine for all those people, Scott, who were very worried about perhaps getting back to Canada if they're already on vacation or getting out to those beautiful spots around the world.
Yeah, flying to lots of places in Europe, but also the sunny beach destinations, which is what a lot of people are dreaming of right now and had plans for this holiday. And many of those plans were up in the air until this 11th hour deal was reached. The deal was reached at the bargaining table between Air Transat and the pilots union after nearly a year of negotiations and also several days of intense negotiations under this strict timeline and the threat of a significant disruption to all the flights that Air Transat operated. Of course, if a strike were to be implemented today, it would have grounded the entire fleet. Now, according to the union, this brings them in line with industry standards. Here's more in a statement from the union, and it reads, "Our current pilot contract lags significantly behind industry standards in Canada and North America. We believe this new agreement meets the needs of today's profession, consistent with collective agreements other ALPA represented pilot groups are signing with their employers." Now, from the airline's perspective, it's calling this agreement an important milestone, and in a statement saying, "We are pleased to have finally reached a tentative agreement with the union representing our pilots, marking a complete overhaul of their collective agreement." And as you mentioned, it goes on to say, "Our priority is now to quickly restore operations and deliver on commitments to provide service that meets our standards." Todd.
All right, so 750 pilots, and let's talk, if we can, about the disruptions for anyone who may have been traveling, because I know that there was one wave of cancellations and then a second wave of flight cancellations.
Yeah, so in terms of the contract, the next step in this entire process is the 750 pilots voting to ratify this deal. And so that really is the next step through the entire situation. Now, in terms of flights, as you mentioned, we do know that nearly 20 flights had been canceled between yesterday and today. So this had already caused significant disruption for many travelers. In particular, this traveler whom you're about to hear from was trying to get to Europe and has been frustrated in trying to get a ticket that'll take him there.
I've been on the phone, trying to see if they can get me started the next flight as soon as possible. But I've been on the phone for a couple of hours. I'm disappointed that nothing being sorted out for the customers is easy. I mean, all arrangement has been made on my side.
Here is what we know from the airline. Any flight that has already been canceled is not going to be reinstated, and the increased flexibility the airline was offering in terms of a credit and extended booking policy, that's no longer offered. But if you have a reservation and you are set to travel over the next couple of days, your flight should not be impacted as the airline now gets back up to full service as quickly as it can.
All right, CTV's Scott Hurst with the latest good news from Air Transat. Thanks for this, Scott.
Thanks, Todd.